and just telling us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, what this business has done for you, all that good stuff.
I would love to. Hi, Morgie.
Hi.
Hi, Amber. Hi, girls. Well, first, I just want to say I'm so grateful to be on this Zoom and just get to be a part of this group. Like, I came home and I just felt so enriched getting to spend all the time with these ladies. Like, it was just such a blessing. So I started this business last February, on February 4th. I didn't really do anything with it to the end of February. Sherry Lynn was after me. She was like, hey, so you going to start? And I was like, yeah. She was like, okay, just throw up a post. So I did, and it blew up, and things just went crazy from there. I had been watching my enroller for about almost 3 years, a little over 2 years. I knew what she was doing. I had her calculated. I knew she was going to post about products and post about the business and all the things. And I had watched her for so long, and I just knew like God had been speaking to me for so long. He was like, I had this girl add you on Facebook for a reason. You're supposed to be talking to her, reach out to her. So I did, and I signed up, and I went Ruby in a month, double promoted the next month to Diamond, then the next month to double, and 2 months later to triple. So I'm super, super grateful for this company and what it's done for my family. We just today, after our checks hit the bank, we are credit card and loan debt free. Woohoo! Y'all, I'm like popped. I'm like, babe, it's gone. All of it's gone. It's gone. But so I just am so grateful also for the growth. Me personally, I had come out of a pretty rough patch in my personal life with a best friend, and then also with my husband, and God just really like redeemed all of that. And it was all through this business. He started putting books in my lap. People started telling me to read this and do that, and I was adding them to my devotional time. I was praying more, and this business brought me so close to the Lord. So I've grown in that area. I've grown in my marriage. We are a completely different couple today than we were. My husband has always been an entrepreneur, and so he's always wanted me to be up on that level with him, and I've always been like, eh. And so now I'm up there with him, and we get to share it and bounce ideas off of each other. So again, just super grateful for this business. It's changed our lives for the better, and I'm just so, so, so grateful. So that's my story.
I love that. Okay, how many of y'all, okay, this is why these Zooms are so important, because how many of y'all have been around somebody this week outside of this business who just went completely credit card and loan debt free? Not too many of us, like that's why I love being in these types of circles. We're going to talk about leveling up your circle a little bit tonight, but I am I love being around these people because I get inspired, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is happening to normal people. Like, they're going debt free. We've been able to pay off debt. I know all these girls on here have been able to pay off debt because of this business. And so many of y'all started for that. So let that be like motivating to you to see that, like, holy cow, like, okay, I joined for like to pay off debt, but that seems really far in the future and almost impossible. But she just said it was possible. So I want to do that too. So let that be inspiring for you. Okay, Tessie, you're next on my screen. So go ahead.
Hi, you guys. Okay, my name is Tessie Carter, and I joined this business 2.5 years ago after following Kelly Brown for 15 months on Instagram. I had no idea. I don't even have any idea how we became friends or followers or whatever on Instagram, because I didn't follow random people then. It was only, hi girls, I miss y'all so much. It was only people that I knew that was in my network on Instagram, and I didn't even have a Facebook. But before this business, we were fortunate. We were able to take vacations with our kids. We were able to save a little bit of money each month. We weren't drowning in debt. Our house was paid off, and, we were fortunate. But at the end of the month, we were able to save a little bit. But come the time at the end of the year when our yearly house bills came up, we were back at square one with the same amount in the savings account January as we were in December. So it was kind of like we were never able to get ahead in that case, but we were still able to take vacations and do fun things. And then my daughter asked me to join tumbling on top of dancing. And I was like, where's the money going to come from? My parents have always taught us to save money for a rainy day or anything like that. And we were like, where's it going to come from? So I was like, okay, it's time for me to say yes. I followed her for 15 months, and that was far too long. So I said yes, and it's been such a blessing, kind of like Stacy said, before this business, we weren't really into going to church, and now we watch Stephen Furtick, and we want to start going back to church now that everything's calming down. And it's changed us in that case. Me and my husband are so much closer in our marriage, which is such a blessing. And we were able to buy 2 new vehicles last year. We actually just got home from a 2-week vacation that we were able to take together. And that's something that, we like to vacation. And we were always like, hey, a 2-week vacation. Well, I always said a 2-week vacation would sound fun. And my husband, he knew he couldn't take off of work. So he was like, man, that was really awesome that we were just able to take 2 weeks. He was able to take off for 2 weeks, and we were able to travel together and do this and not have to stress and struggle about it. And he did not want to go back to work today. Let's just say that. And I was like, well, you don't have to. But because of this business, he doesn't. I've been able to triple his income, and it's been such a blessing. And now we're Presidential Diamond, and we are pushing ambassador.
I love that. Oh my gosh. Okay. I want y'all to blow up the chat. Okay. Hang on, wait. There's somebody. Okay. I want y'all to blow up the chat because I am a huge words of affirmation person. So the more hype y'all get in the chat, the more hype I get, the better I'm gonna be. So if y'all could just yeah, there we go. Okay, Natalie, tell us about you really quick.
Hey, you guys. So my name's Natalie Emerson. I'm a triple diamond. I am a pastor's wife. My husband's in full-time ministry. He has been our entire married life. We have 3 little boys. Whenever we started having kids, it was important to both of us that I stay home. So I'd always worked full-time. So our pay was cut in half to let me do that. And to make up for it, my husband always worked a second job. So, ministry doesn't always bring in a lot of big bucks. So he worked a second job, which took him away from us, even more. Ministry's super busy. And then this was, even more time away from us. We hardly saw him. And I met my enroller, Stacy Alcala, it was purely the Lord looking back on it, how we met, because it's a crazy story, but she and I met, and then I watched her on Facebook for probably 9 months or so, just kind of seeing what she did. She offered me the business at one point during that, and I told her no, absolutely not. I don't even know what you do, and it just did not appeal to me at all. I'd actually messaged her about the wraps to ask her, and I even prefaced my message with, I don't want to buy it. I'm just curious what it does. It's so rude. And so she messaged me back, and she was like, okay, offered the business. And I just, it wasn't the right time. So fast forward 3 or 4 months, my husband's second job was going away. That company was pulling out of Houston where we live. So he was losing that income. I think it was that night or the next day, I got another message from Stacy after I'd already told her no. She sent me another message and offered the business again. And this time it was the Lord. The timing was perfect. And I basically said, I don't know what it is that you sell, but I see that you're doing really well. She was in ministry too. I signed up that day, and she told me I could get a $10,000 bonus if I went diamond in 3 months. And I said, I don't even know what that means, but I'm going to do it. And that was my first goal. And I did it, plus other bonuses later on top of that. And haven't looked back. So we're triple diamond right now, and we're pushing for presidential, and that's going to happen soon.
Yes, it is. I love that so much. And guys, let her story show you that if you have somebody today or this week or this month who tell you no to the wraps, and they tell you, I don't want to order these, I just want to know more about them, then they might be your next triple diamond. Okay, so don't let that discourage you whenever people tell you no, because it just might not be the right time. But she watched her for 9 months. Did y'all catch that? She told her no, but she watched her. And Stacy was consistent. She always was talking about this. She followed up with Natalie. She was posting about the wraps, otherwise Natalie wouldn't have known about it. So do not give up on people, and do not let those no's stop you, because if Stacy had quit because Natalie told her no, she would have missed out on all of the blessings to come. And not even just having Natalie as a triple, but I know they're really good friends now too. So, okay, Valerie, tell us about you.
Okay. Hey friends. Okay. So I'm Val from Louisiana. I just went triple in April. I've been in for almost 2 years. And okay, so before the business, like life was really rough. My husband used to work offshore. And so if you don't know what that means, he literally would be gone for like half the year at least away from us. And we had 2 kids at the time. So, you know, he was missing out on birthdays, Christmas is like a lot. Well, he got laid off because oil fields up and down. He was off work. He was laid off for like a few months. And so we were like behind on bills. Like when he finally did get a new job, it was like, okay, we're not going to work offshore anymore. So he got a new one where he was home every night, but he was making like less than half what he had made when he was working offshore. So you're out of work for 4 months, you get behind, drowning in debt. Like we're literally borrowing money for groceries almost on a weekly basis. And I saw Tessie posting about this business, but she never asked me and I never asked her. So when I saw another friend posting about the products, I messaged her for info. I had no business messaging her because I had no money to order them, but I just wanted to know. So she was like, well, this is the price, you know, which is the same price you could get, you know, as a distributor. I was like, well, how do you become a distributor? And she was like, oh, well, I have a promo code right now for $49. It ends today. And you can earn a $10,000 bonus. I was like, $10,000 bonus, it's done. My needs this money. We're doing this. So I jumped in, I ran to Diamond. My kids got Christmas that year because I earned the bonus. They wouldn't have had much if it wasn't for this business. And I just went triple and now we're running to Prez.
I love it. Okay, let Valerie's story be a testimony to y'all. Reach out to these people. Literally, I joined with somebody who I barely knew, and there was a girl that I grew up with, and our parents grew up with each other, and she had been doing the business for 5 months when I joined, and I did not even know she was in the business because she never posted about it. And she was like, Morgan, why did you not join me? I said, you should have been posting about it. I probably would have joined you because I knew you better than I knew this other girl. But she didn't, and she was like, I know, I kick myself every day for it, you know? So you have to ask and you have to just put, because posting isn't enough. She was watching her post, but neither of them reached out to each other. And so that just kind of kicked me in the pants a little bit. I'm like, oh, who am I that message that's going to go join with somebody else? Like I just got a little bit more brave, I think. Okay. Amber, tell us about you, girlfriend.
Hi, sorry, my comments are coming up. I couldn't unmute myself. Props to you guys for blowing up the chat. But hi guys, I'm Amber. So I was actually, my story's a little bit different. I was actually in the business before and something tragic happened in my life. My mother died. It was just a random thing that just happened. It was just crazy. And I honestly just didn't know who I was. I just didn't know who I was without her, you know? So I quit the business. I will openly say that I literally just quit because I was like, I can't do this. I don't know who I am. And, you know, being in the business, you have to know who you are, right? So, and then 3 months later, I had a miscarriage. So my life was literally crumbling. Okay. And then it was three or 4 months after that, I got pregnant again with my daughter. She's now 10 months old now, but I got pregnant with my daughter and I was like, you know, something like I need to be home. Like I need to be home with my daughter. I was actually during that time working a 9 to 5 because I already took so much time off and we were just in debt, like just from me taking time off because I was just depressed and I couldn't handle myself. So I was like, I knew the opportunity that I had in my hand. Sorry, my daughter just woke up. I knew the opportunity that I had in my hand and I'm like, I can be home with my daughter with this opportunity. So I joined the business again with Morgan. I went diamond in 55 days and this is part of my story. I just got complacent and we're going to talk about that a little later in terms of just camping, but now we're going double and it's just an exciting time. And I've just seen so much growth, not just in me, but just in our family as well.
That is awesome. I love that. And yes, you are going double this month. It's happening. Okay, Christy, tell us about you.
Hey y'all, so I am Christy and I started my business February of 2019. And I started my business because my husband and I were separated. And my team hears my story all the time, my tribe, but here's one thing I haven't said before. So I used to weigh 250 pounds. And I've lost 100 pounds. And I was in the middle of that weight loss journey when my husband and I separated and we got 4 kids. So I was like, I know I got some hustle. Like, I know I'm going to be good at this. Like, I didn't come into the, like, I know opportunity when I see it. And it's not to say you have to have some huge weight loss journey, but I knew how to maximize on that story that I had going on. So I came into this, I knew I was going to be good at it. And I had a really strong why. And so joined in February in March, I went Ruby. And in April, I double promoted to Diamond, earned a bonus. And then what happened was I had just had in my head, like, I need to make $2,500 a month. And I was. My husband and I got back together and had a lot of chaos to work through. And the whole, like, what I was all hyped up about was I'm a single mom making money to support my kids. Well, that wasn't true anymore. So I didn't really know what to do. So it was like complacency, confusion, chaos. And for about 8 months, I mean, I signed customers, but I wasn't going anywhere and I wasn't leading. COVID hits. I live in West Texas. The oil field went down and suddenly I needed to make money again. And I realized I had an opportunity to offer other people. And so I come back in, paid rank Ruby in April. We went to double diamond by June. Really grew in leadership, pouring into my team. I have the best team. We have the best relationships. And we went triple diamond in March. We celebrated by going skydiving. And my husband, I just got him to triple diamond last month. So we're well on our way to Prez. And I just love that I didn't give up. How did I join? I used to sell phones with John Alcala. He reached out to me when him and Sherry started their business. 4 years later, I responded it and told him I was ready. But I was watching because Sherry's a genius and she tagged John in everything. So I got to follow their story of having JJ and building their houses. So I was watching the whole time. I was just like, my ghost game is strong. Like, I was like, but I mean, they kept doing it. So that's one thing I can encourage you. Don't give up. You don't know who's watching you. They just got a really strong ghost game, but just stick with it.
I love that so much. Okay, tip, tag your husband or tag your boyfriend in all of your posts, because honestly, I signed so many of people that went to like high school and college with my husband. Like, I met a lot of them at a wedding we went to and they were all like, how's business going? And I'm like, it's good, you should join. But like, literally, so that's so great. And I love your story, Christy. That's awesome. Okay, so I'll tell my story really quick too. So my name is Morgan and never have I ever celebrated a promotion by skydiving. Never will I ever. So anyways, I joined this business a little over 6 years ago. I was a broke college student, struggling, couldn't afford gas, couldn't afford groceries. And I found this business, didn't even know the girl who was posting about it. She posted about the wraps on Instagram and I thought they were fake, didn't think that they were real, didn't think they'd work, especially not for me, but I tried them because I really wanted to gain confidence. So I used them and I was obsessed with my results. And so then I saw that she was posting about making money and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to do that. I want to make money because I was super broke. So I just joined because I wanted $100 to pay for gas and to pay for groceries. So I didn't have to put those on credit cards. I was already working 2 jobs, so 65 hours a week, while going to school full time. Anybody else, put a 2 in the chat. If you're like, I work a job and or go to school, I'm busy, put a 2 in the chat. Okay. That was me when I joined this business. And life was pretty crazy. And I literally had every reason not to say yes to this because I was busy. I didn't know anybody. I had just moved across the country from Mississippi to Michigan. And I didn't know anybody. I didn't have the money. I didn't have the time. But I used those as reasons why I needed to do this. And I kept using those as reasons why I needed to do this instead of using them as reasons why I couldn't. And so fast forward 6 years later, we've made the most incredible friends, including all of these ladies. I met my maid of honor through this business. We've been able to pay off so much debt. We've been able to replace mine and my husband's income. We've been able to give back more in a month than we used to make in a month. And we get to show our teams how to do that now too. We built our dream home that we're sitting in right now. And we have a baby on the way and we don't have to worry about bills. We don't have to worry about nursery things. We don't have to worry about the car seat and how we're going to afford those things. And now I get to stay at home with him. And I never joined this business to be a stay-at-home mom. It's like gonna make me emotional because of all my pregnancy hormones. But like, I joined this business 6.5 years ago as a broke college student for gas money, and now 6 years later, I get to have a baby and be at home with him. And I never knew that's what I wanted or needed. Now it's an option for us, and so it's just given us so much freedom. And my husband and I have never in our marriage or in our relationship ever thought about money. And so I'm super thankful for that too, because it's really helped us to be a closer couple, because I feel like that's a lot of the reason why people end in divorce too. And so we haven't ever had to fight about that. And it's just been such a blessing for our spiritual well-being too. I've grown so much closer to the Lord through this business and been able to show other people his love too. So love that. Okay. So let's get into the nitty gritty. So we wanted to talk a little bit about, we can each just kind of go like we just did to save time. So we can do like an aha moment from Winner's Circle if you had one. And then, I can talk a little bit about the climbing and camping thing, too. And then we can all kind of talk about like our take on that. So one thing that Mark shared with us, and if you're new here, Mark Pentecost is our CEO. So Winner's Circle that we keep talking about, if you're like, what is a Winner's Circle? Okay, so we all earned a trip to get to go to his ranch in Florida, and we went there just like a couple weeks ago. And so we were all together sharing ideas, different stuff. But one day we were sitting in his living room, and he was telling us like this story about these campers and these climbers. So there's 3 different types of people. And if you're taking notes, you'll want to write this down: quitters, climbers, and campers. Okay. So we talked first about the quitters, and those are pretty obvious, right? People who join this business and quit, or people who do things in life and quit. And they just stop doing them because things get hard. They come up against this roadblock and they feel like, oh, this is just a sign that it's not for me. When in reality, it's just a sign that you need to keep pushing forward because your breakthrough's coming. But those are the quitters. Okay. Then you have the campers. Okay. The campers are people who join this business. Amber kind of touched on this a second ago, so I'll use her as an example. Get to a goal, whether it's their shopping spree or Ruby or Diamond or whatever, and then they just get complacent and they just camp out there. They get a little bit of the way up the mountain and they stop. And they just don't continue pushing forward for whatever reason. And then you have your climbers, and those are the people who go up the mountain and they consistently climb, they consistently push, and they are persistent in their pursuit to get to the top of this mountain. And all of our mountains look different because I don't know what your goal is, and it's different than the next person's. But whatever your mountain is, we want to teach you tonight how to climb that and why it's important to keep climbing and not being a camper or a quitter. And so the last thing I'll say before Stacy, if you want to start, the one thing that he said was he talked about this quote from this girl, and I don't even know if she was a real girl or if it was like a fake story, but this girl kept trying to climb this mountain over and over and over again, and she kept failing. And these people went up to her, I think they were reporters or whatever, and they were like, why do you keep trying to climb this mountain? And she looked back at them and she said, because the mountain never gets bigger, and every time I fail, I grow and I learn. And I was like, dang, that girl is going to get to the top of the mountain one day. And I don't know how long it's going to take her, but she's going to get to the top. So it's not about climbing and it being just like this. Amen. Don't we know success does not look like this? Success looks like this. And you're consistently moving up, but it's back and forth and down and up and spirals and, oh, I should have been doing this. Now I got to change this, right? We know that. Put a 3 in the chat if you're like, yes, I totally feel that. Like my success has not been like this. I'm not where I am. And none of these people are where they are because it was like this. Just a breeze the whole time, rainbow, sunshine, and butterflies. Okay. Even if they had a fast story, I know Stacy promoted really quickly. She still wasn't all sunshine, rainbows, and butterflies. She had issues that she had to work through. She had things that she had to learn as a leader that she's still growing and learning in. So it's not that we're saying that you need to climb like this if you want to be successful. We're saying when it is like this, because it's going to be, just don't stop. And somebody said, I might be a slow climber. Girl, I don't care if you crawl up the mountain, but you better not stop. Okay. I don't care if you crawl or if you walk or if you run. If you can run up a mountain, I'll be really impressed with you. But I don't care how you get up there, just don't stop. Okay. That's what we want to talk about tonight. So Stacy, talk about your aha moment and talk a little bit about your takeaway or whatever from the mountain.
Yeah, for sure. I forgot to say a while ago that my team is pushing presidential. We are going presidential 2021. Woohoo! So I forgot to add that in a while ago. So I'm not leaving that out because that needs to be proclaimed out loud. So, okay. So my aha moment, and this was Christy Vines, you know it, girl. This was from the first Winner's Circle and this last one. The first aha was that there is no shape, mold, color, background, anything. There's no mold you have to fit in to do this business. Okay, guys, there just isn't. You can be from any state, any nationality, any size. You can be male, you can be female, anything, and you can be successful in this business. Okay, that is my first aha moment. Nobody gets to decide but you, right? And nobody gets to decide whether you're a camper or a climber but you. Okay, there are no quitters on this call. We're not even going to talk about quitters because ain't nobody got time for that. So we're going to talk about campers and climbers. I love when Mark said, when he was telling that story, and he said, you know, how many of you have camped? How many of you are currently camping? And my sister-in-law looked at me. She went with me and she was like, I've been camping. And you know what? That's okay. Because you know what she said? I'm going to draw a line in the sand. I'm going to step over and I'm going to start climbing. And that's all any of you have to do. It's not this, it's not an epiphany. It doesn't happen. It's just a decision. It's making a decision and saying, I'm not camping anymore. I don't have time to camp. I don't want to have to go to the lake every day and catch my meal and be cooking and camping here for forever. I want to be climbing. I want to climb that mountain and I want to get to the top. And the only way I'm going to do that is to get out of my comfort zone, lace up my bootstraps, and let's go. And I just love that he said, you know, it's okay if you stop and you look around and you assess where you're at. But that should be like, it's like our upline, Sherry Lynn. Some of us are on Sherry Lynn's team. She says, see it, believe it, work for it, pray for it. And she says, I want you to see your goal for 3 seconds. And then I want you to believe, and then I want you to let it go. And I want you to believe you can do it. I want you to pray for it. And then I want you to work your butt off for it. And that's exactly like climbing. Don't be a camper. Jump up that mountain and go. Like, get your boots on and go. You can do it. The only person holding you back is you. And I just feel like so many times we're like, but this person's not working, or this person's not doing that, or gosh, I feel like I'm all alone. You know what? That means you just need to dig down deeper. You just got to get in that team, get with those babies and work with them. So that is my biggest thing, is just swimming down, working with people, and not even giving camping. I'm not even allowing that to be a choice. I'm climbing. I'm got my team climbing. We're going. So one last thing I want to share before I'm done is I was just on a power hour before this, and a girl put this quote in the chat, and I was like, I got to share that. It's so good. It says, discipline is doing what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it and believing it will make you better. And that is what makes you great. And it is the same thing when you're working your business and climbing that mountain. Maybe you don't want to get up and climb that day. So what? You're going to do it anyways because you have a goal and you know that to get there, you got to climb. So that was my big takeaway, is just do it.
That is gold. Will you put that quote in our chat?
You got it.
Okay, thank you. Hi. She's like, oh gosh. Okay, Tessie.
Stevie, say hi. That's Morgan.
Tessie, go for it, girlfriend.
Okay, so I feel like my aha moment and the camper climbers kind of go together. So whenever we joined this business, we all had a goal. Everybody joined this business wanting something. For me, it was $200 to $300 a month to pay for tumbling and to save. When really, without knowing it, that's our dream. Okay, so Mark talked about dreaming and redreaming. So, you know, for those that are new, you joined this business with a dream, whether you know it or not. It was just a goal. I felt like it was just a goal, but looking back, that was a dream that we had. I wanted to make $200 to $300 a month, right? And I hit that. Everybody's going to hit your dreams as long as you're going for it, right? But he always says you want to keep redreaming. And I did. When I joined, I honestly, Kelly asked me, okay, Tessie, what's your like small goal and what's your big goal? Like what's your 3-month goal and what's your year goal? And I told her my year goal, because I joined in February, I told her I wanted to be Ruby by December. And she was like, well, no, that would be your small goal. And I was like, no, you don't understand. Ruby is my big goal by December. And she was like, let's make that your small goal. What would be your big goal? And it was diamond by December because I honestly didn't think I could. I didn't even know how I was going to make the $200 to $300 a month, right? But I went diamond in 2 months and double diamond in 3 months. So I kept redreaming. Okay. And that's what you want to do. You want to keep redreaming. But last year, when we double promoted from double to pres, I felt selfish and I felt like I was bragging by redreaming. I was like, my team's going to think that I'm like this big money driven person when really I'm not. Do I want to make money? Yeah, but I want my team to make money too. And I had my redreams, right? I have my goals, ambassador, millionaires club. Like I have these dreams that I wanted, but I wasn't shouting it out to my team because that's how I felt. I felt like I was being selfish. My yellow heart I can't take it. I'm like, I don't want my team to think I'm bragging. I don't want them to think I'm, whatever. But by me not telling them my new dreams, newbies coming in aren't able to see me dreaming at all. They're not able to see me casting any type of vision of what this business is capable of for your family. And if you're not redreaming, and even if you're brand new, have you hit that dream that you came in for? Okay, what's next? What's your next dream? Because if you're not redreaming at every step, your team's not going to dream with you. So I have newbies coming in and they're not seeing me dream at all. So they don't know what's possible out of this business. And that's not the way I want to lead them. I want to lead them to know that coming into this business, they can do whatever they want with it. But because I wasn't redreaming, they're not getting that out of me. They're not seeing that as a leader. I have vision for this. I'm going somewhere and they're going to want to come with me. So I think for me, that was it. And kind of looking at the campers climbers, it's kind of like I was camping out to my team, but in my heart, I'm still a climber. I want us to go ambassador. I want to be in the Millionaires Club. I want to be top 10. But my team doesn't know that. So my team sees me as I was probably camping when really I'm like, oh, no, I'm never camping. I'm always climbing. But I wasn't saying it. I wasn't redreaming for them. So regardless of where you are, if you're a newbie or if you're a leader or, like if you're brand new or you've been here for a while, make sure you're setting your dreams, your small dreams, and then you're redreaming at every dream that you hit. Yeah, silent climber. Yeah, Lacey, I was like a silent climber, like 100%, but you've got to be loud about it. So for me, that was by far my biggest aha moment.
I love that so much. And I think that a lot of us can relate to that. Like, I know you probably have goals and you have dreams. If you don't, it's time to redream. But if you do have those goals, does your team know what they are? I know I'm probably guilty of that too. And I love that. It kind of was a kick in the pants again. Like everything you said tonight was a kick in the pants. But I need to be louder with my team too. Cause like, even if I've told them a month ago, those things have changed or there's been new people that have come in that haven't heard me say it. So I've got to get loud about it. And that's why I love Stacey was like, I got to claim this. I'm going presidential. If y'all didn't know, I'm doing it. So I need to get back loud about that. So, okay, Natalie, what's yours?
Okay, so this kind of goes along a little bit with what Tessie was saying, but a little bit different. So my big aha, and he didn't talk about this specifically, but it goes along with the camping versus climbing mentality. Realizing that with every promotion comes a new level of growth that is going to be required of you. So if you are going from distributor to executive, if you're going executive to Ruby, Ruby to Emerald, all the way up to ambassador, something is going to have to shift. Something's going to have to change in your mindset to get to that next level. What gets you from Ruby to Emerald is not going to be the same things that's going to get you from Emerald to Diamond. It's going to take something a little bit different, a little bit more. You're going to have to dig a little bit deeper. And otherwise, you're going to find yourself camping. And that's kind of where I was. I didn't feel like I was camping. I feel like I'm always pushing, always climbing. But what got me to triple is not getting me to pres. And I can see it clearly. It's not happening fast enough. And so I knew there's something that I needed to tweak. What is it? I don't know. I couldn't figure it out. But Winner's Circle really opened my eyes to what it is. Now I know what it is that I need to tweak. And it's something that an area of growth in my leadership that I wasn't doing. turning around and enabling, empowering my just getting started leaders and letting them grow and giving them opportunities to grow and show their leadership, so that it's not me just enrolling, 90 miles an hour and trying to build it all on my own, which I'm that personality of, oh, I'll just do it. It's just easier. I need to build a Ruby, so I'll just build a Ruby. I can just do that. And it's not sustainable. So that got me to triple, but that's not going to get me to Perez, and it's certainly not going to get me to ambassador. So realizing that something has to change in what I'm doing, and what is that? So maybe it's for you, maybe you're just getting started and that doesn't really apply to you yet, but maybe it's something like you're terrified of going live. That could be a big goal that you set for yourself. So you didn't have to go live to get to Ruby, but now you're ready to go Emerald, or you're ready to go Diamond. So that could be something that you need to tackle, because that can really grow your business really fast. Or if maybe you've never led a power hour, that's a big step of growth that you could take on. And maybe it just starts with your, two of your little distributors. Maybe that you just have a team of 2 or a team of 3. Lead a power hour for your team of 3. So just stuff like that. What's an area that you can grow in, an area that you see leaders above you that they're doing that terrifies you, to even think about it, then that's probably something that you should tackle. Because if you're not being stretched, then you're not growing. So what's a good stretch goal for you?
That's so good. If you're not being stretched, then you're not growing. That's really good. And one thing that I heard Craig Rochelle say, and I think it was in a podcast, but he said something like, whatever area that you hear it and you have the most resistance to it, that's probably the area that you need to pay attention to the most, because it's probably where you have the most room to grow. And so if you were somebody, whenever she said live video, your hands got really sweaty and you kind of peed your pants a little bit, you were like, nope, not doing that. Like, that might be where you grow, And so I don't know what that is for you, but I love that encouragement that if you're not stretching, you're not growing. Okay, Val, tell us your aha moments, or climbing, camping, whatever you have.
Okay, so I have an aha and climbing, camping. Okay, but I'm gonna be fast. So the climbing, camping, you guys, I'm like super red. And when I joined, I was like, I'm climbing. You're coming? Like, we're going. Like, no, we don't have time to stop for a water break. Like, no, we're not chilling. Like, we're climbing. We're going fast. We're going hard. And like, if you need to stop, well, I'm not stopping. So going to the event, being around like a lot of like really strong leaders, and it's like, you can't do that. You can't. And this might be more for leaders, but even, going on in your business, you're always a leader. You're leading yourself, you're leading your family. So if you are a human, you're a leader, so meeting people where they're at, and you don't get to decide for them what working their business means. And you don't get to decide that, no, I'm not going to stay, connected with her because she's, not doing anything. She's not posting like I would. She's not getting on the Zooms. Like, you have to meet your people where they're at. And you don't get to decide what working is to her and what working isn't. Like, you don't get to decide how fast she gets to go. Like, she gets to decide that. But you're her leader. You're her friend. You need to be there to guide her in every step of the way, even if it's not the pace that you want her going at. It's her business, or his. I know there's some guys on here too. It's their business, and they get to decide. And you're there. And I've lost a lot of people because I was like, they're not going at the pace that I want them to go, but that's not fair. And so that's something that I really, really hit me on the head, like, Val, like, you're climbing, yeah, and you get to climb, but you don't get to leave your people that aren't climbing as fast as you. And so, walk with your walkers, run with your runners, jog with your joggers, but don't leave them, because you never know when someone's going to chill. They're chilling, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, okay, I'm ready to climb now. And they take off and go far, but that's not your decision to make. And so that was something that, really is going to be different for me going forward in my business, that I need to make sure that I'm, meeting them where they're at and not pushing them to go further than they're ready for. At the same time, not letting them camp, but letting them climb at their own pace. And so then another thing, you guys, okay, so Winter Circle was amazing, right? It was like incredible. Getting to events is so dang important, okay? We all worked our butts off to get to this event because we knew proximity is power, and being around people who have the same vision, the same goals. It's so huge. Okay. And it's so much fun. And can I just tell you, I'm super red, right? I have a little bit of blue in me. Yes, I like to have fun, but that's like I want to win. Like I want to be recognized. Like I want the money. That's what I'm going for. Okay. But can I tell you, Mark and Cindy and the corporate team decided to pay all this money for us to go have fun. Mark said on the first day, like before we went on the ranch, he was like, number one goal today is to have fun. And I was like, oh man, I'm not about the fun life. Like I'm about the fun life in my life, but like in my business life, I'm like, money, honey, we getting this. So it made me realize, like, you guys, like you have to have fun with your team, because it doesn't matter how much money you're making. If they're not having fun, they're peacing out. So you have to stop and have fun. And so success leaves clues, right? So Mark and Cindy did a big winner circle, right? What are you doing for your team? Are you going to have a family day and get them to bring their husbands and get them to bring their wives? I mean, some of them have wives. Okay. Yeah. And get them to bring their kids. Like, are you going to get them to come and just have fun? And it's not even about the business. And my team's like, Val, is this you saying this? Yes, it's me saying this. Cause I'm like, we're working. But at the same time, if you're not having fun and you're not growing those relationships and you're not, pouring into people, this business isn't just about the money. And we all know that. It was so much more for us, but we have to make sure that we are doing everything. And if your team don't wait for your leader to do it. Don't wait for your upline to be like, hey, I'm having a family day. No, you have your own family day because you have your own team and you have your own fall event and you have your own, is it fall? Yeah, it's September. Yeah. You have your own conference and you have your own watch party and you do your own fun things, but have fun. And Amber Parker was even telling us, like, I know, like, if you don't have a local team, like, you can't always get together. Okay. But she was like, we do like a wine sip night and we just get on a Zoom and sip wine together and have fun. Like, like it doesn't, just love your people and have fun, because going to Winter Circle, they just loved us like they were family and had fun with us and just wanted us to have fun. So like, that was my big aha.
I love that a lot. That's so good. Okay, Amber.
Okay. So mine is actually a little different. So mine wasn't necessarily, and this is kind of like a different perspective of the camping and climbing that I had. And honestly, it was just around leveling up my circle and just being around everybody that was at Winter Circle. Like, it just changed my perspective of everything, no matter what we were doing. So mine was actually when we were playing cornhole. And I know that sounds so silly. Morgan's like, oh gosh, she's gonna tell this story. So by the way, Morgan's terrible at cornhole. Okay, she was hitting me and not the board, if you want to know. But anyway, so that's besides the point. So we were playing cornhole and we were playing against a husband and wife, and I was with, like, the husband was like on my side of the board, and then the wife was on the other side. I forget her name. I'm terrible with names. But so he was amazing, right? He kept getting it on the board. Like, they were just amazing as a team, right? And they were getting on the board and they were getting it in the hole. And my thing was, I just wanted to stop them from getting points. And I don't know if you know what cornhole's like or whatever, but if you get one on the board and then I get one on the board, it cancels each other out. So my mindset was, he's so good, I'm just going to stop him, right? Like, I'm just going to get on the board. So I was playing defense. In my opinion, I was playing defense. And even like, I was saying that to Morgan, I was like, let's just play defense. Let's just play defense. And I was like, no, like, why am I thinking like that? I should not be playing defense. I should be playing offense, right? And as soon as I switched that perspective, I started scoring points, and it was not a lot of points. So don't get me wrong, we still lost. It was terrible. But as soon as I changed my perspective, I started getting points, and then Morgan started getting points. So it wasn't just me, it was the team together. So I just want to say that in your business, so I just want to say, in your business, are you playing defense or are you playing offense, right? Are you in that camping zone where you're just like maintaining and you're just replacing the volume as it's needed, and you're not looking at it like a distributor is actually multiplying your volume instead of just signing everything on your own? Or are you actually climbing up the mountain and bringing your team with you and teaching them how to play offense, right? Because and that was just, I know it sounds so silly and it sounds so simple, but just leveling up your circle. And that was another thing, just leveling up your circle and just being around all these people, like even just, it just makes you feel better. There's a girl on Rachel Jones' team, Jill, and I'm actually still in touch with her. She's a triple. She thought I was a triple. And I think that was just the way that I was acting and just the way that I was talking. And I don't know, maybe not, but I'm like, you can manifest that, girl. I'll be triple. But you know what I mean? Like, just keep getting yourself around these people who truly believe in you, and that's so important. Morgan talks about that all the time in leveling up your circle. And I really didn't, I like listened to her and then I got to Winner Circle. I'm like, wow, this is life changing. And now I'm in a whole bunch of triples and we're doing like Zooms and stuff. So I just want to say that make sure that you're playing offense in your business and make sure, sounds good, presidential, and make sure that you're leveling up your circle.
I love that, except how you called me out about the cornhole. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Oh, that was terrible. But we won best spirit. We won Miss Congeniality for that one for sure. Okay, Christy, tell us your aha moment.
All right. So which one, Morgan? Which the real one from the bus? No. So
yeah, brag on me. Go ahead.
Okay. No, okay. First off, like when we're talking about climbing mindset, drop a 1 in the chat if you're like you automatically think the next rank. Like who thinks when you hear climbing and you think leveling up, you think the next rank, like that's your go-to? Because I think that's so often what we do, but let's break it down and say climbing's a mindset. See, climbing's a mindset of always being willing to do what it takes to go forward, but there's only 8 ranks? Are you really going to promote every single month? I mean, if you can, more power to you, but what happens is when we get to these bigger ranks, there's more time that's needed. There's more people that's required. So if you think, oh shoot, I'm a camper because I'm not promoting to the next rank. Oh no, because climbing is a mindset. Climbing is the ability, and this was I will share this aha. I was sitting behind Morgan on the bus and I'm peeking through the seat and I'm watching her add into her Insta story. And I was like, hold up. What did you just do there? And it like blew my mind. And y'all are like, that's silly. No, it's not silly, because here's the thing. We can have so much respect and have accomplished so much. Yeah, I am a creeper. I am. You better watch out. You better have a privacy screen on, Hanson. I got you. I'll get that credit card number. I'll put that LC in before you. No, I'm kidding. Okay, back to that. Sorry. I chase squirrels. So, okay, back to it. So it's this mindset of I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get to the next level. And even though I may have accomplished a lot, there's so much more to accomplish. And who do you learn from? Other climbers. Stay close to the fire. Who has a sideline? If you have a sideline, you know what that means? It's somebody that like holds you accountable, because we always want to have somebody we're looking towards, learning from, someone we're running with, and someone that we're teaching. So do you have a sideline? Drop their name in the chat. If you don't have a sideline, get one. I've got multiple sidelines that hold me accountable, and they're climbers too, because here's what we do. When you hang out with other climbers, you learn how to use the tools more efficiently. And the mountain, and I loved how they said that, the mountain doesn't get any bigger, but what happens? You learn how to climb the mountain. So what's your mountain? What's your mountain? And don't you dare say a rank, because a rank just signifies all that goes into it. And so what I loved about Winner Circle was that I'm willing to be humble enough to say, I don't know how to do that with my story. Can you show me? Because that's a mindset of I'm willing to do whatever it takes to keep going forward, and anybody can show me. And I can learn things. I can learn something from you, Andrea, and you, Alicia, and Stephanie. Like I can learn something from every single one of you, because what are we? We're just people climbing. And the minute that I stop and I think, oh, I can't do it, or I'm comfortable here, there's a difference between being complacent and content. I can be content with what I've accomplished and the blessings God's given me. But if once I get complacent, I set up shop, I camp, and I'm not going anywhere. I'm not willing to do that. And being around so many people that are willing to do whatever it takes to achieve more. And not only that, like Morgan, willing to share something that to her may be so simple, but to me, it's my stories look so good now. That's all I've got.
I love that so much. And what you said about like climbing is a mindset, that's so good, because I say that all the time in a different way, because I've been at different ranks for a long time. And whenever I promoted to Diamond, I sat at Diamond for 13 months and I was stuck. stuck at diamond for 13 months. And then I went double, and I promised myself, I said, I will never sit at a rank for a year again. I will never do that again. I'm going to promote faster. I went triple in 2 months, and it took me a year and a half to go from triple to presidential. But what I learned over that year and a half is that there was a difference between that year and a half that I was going from triple to presidential than it was for me going from diamond to double. Because at diamond to double, I was stuck because my mindset was stuck. I wasn't surrounding myself with people who were making me better. I wasn't leveling up my leadership. So I was stuck. And that's a choice that I made in that moment. But whenever I was going from triple to presidential, I sat there for a while, but I was never stuck because I was always growing. My team was growing. New leaders were rising. I was a different person. I was leveling up my leadership to where I needed to be for that next level. So I wasn't stuck, but I sat there. And it's okay to sit as long as you don't stay stuck. Stuck is a choice. Sitting is something that happens. It's inevitable in this business, okay? But sitting doesn't mean that you can't. You still continue to climb even if your rank stays the same. That makes sense. And I love it that that's what you said. I didn't even think about it that way, but it's so good. Okay, I'll share mine really quick to close this out. So mine goes back to the quote that I told y'all about with the girl. So Mark was talking about the girl, you know, that was climbing up this mountain over and over again. And she was like, I'm not going to quit climbing. I'm going to keep trying because the mountain's not getting any bigger. And every time I fail, I learn and I grow. And I was like, that girl's going to get to the top of this mountain. Like, no, I have zero doubt that that girl's eventually going to get to the top of the mountain. And that day, like, as I kept thinking about that story, by the end of the night, whenever we shared aha moments, I told everybody, I said, by the end of the day, I believed in that girl getting to the top of the mountain more than I believed in myself to get to the goals that I had for me. And so some of you need to stop looking at the mountain that you feel like is right in front of you and believe that everybody can get there except for you, because that's how I feel sometimes. And I feel like this is possible. Even for this figurative woman, for this figurative mountain, that was going to be way more possible than me getting to the goal that I have for me. And so, oh, I heard. Did I? Okay, did I freeze or did y'all freeze? Am I so good? Okay. I was like, no, it just froze. It's fine. Okay. Okay, so I don't know where I left off, but I was just saying, like, stop looking around at other people, going for the things that you're going for or shooting for similar goals and feeling like it's possible for everybody but you, because that's only going to hold you back. And what makes you different than them? Nothing. Did God look at them and say, you know what, Brooke, you're really fantastic and I'm really going to bless you really big and you're going to go ambassador, but little Morgan over here, I don't quite love her just as much. And so I'm not going to bless her with the same abilities and I'm just going to let her fail over there at presidential for a little bit. Like, no, like he doesn't do that. And I know that sounds silly when we say it that way, but we believe that, and we don't just believe it. We walk in that lack of belief in ourselves. And that affects everything that we do in this business, because it affects how you message people, because you don't believe that they're going to sign up even if you send the messages. It affects how you do your 6 list, because why would you do it if you don't believe it's going to be helpful? You don't even want to grow your leadership, because why would you grow your leadership if you don't believe that you're going to be able to sign people on your team? And if you do sign people on your team, you don't even believe that they're going to stay because you're not good enough to lead them. But it's not all about you. And that belief literally flows into, or the lack thereof flows into, everything that you do in this business. And if you don't believe me, look at where you're at right now and ask yourself, AT&T is going to get a call from me tomorrow about this internet. No, I'm just kidding, kind of. So look at where you are right now in your business and ask yourself, where has the belief that I've had gotten me here? Like, how has it brought me to where I am? Or how has the lack of belief gotten me stuck here where I am? And how has it made me want to camp because I don't believe I'm even worthy of climbing? And so that was the biggest takeaway for me. And one thing that I wanted to say on that is that maybe you're not a camper, or maybe you are, or maybe you're a climber, but maybe you have a team of people who are campers. And maybe your whole entire team you feel like is just that person that just doesn't dream. They don't want to get any bigger. They don't want to grow. They don't want to get to the next level. They're just complacent where they're at. They're not just content, but they're complacent where they're at. They're just sitting there and they don't have any big goals. They're not dreaming. They're not showing up. They're not doing the things, and they're just sitting there. Couple things. There's two things I want you to think about. Number one, Craig Rochelle. I love Craig Rochelle if you haven't noticed. He says, everything that happens in your organization is either something that you have created or allowed. So I want you to ask yourself, if you see that on your team, it's a direct reflection of you. So have you been showing them that behavior? Have you been modeling that for them? Like maybe you're looking at all these people and you're pointing a finger as to why they're the reason that you're not where you want to be, but maybe it starts with you. And maybe there are some changes that you can make for yourself to make yourself not a camper, but a climber instead. And then you would see that translate into your team too, because it doesn't start with them, it starts with you. And so I want some of us to look in the mirror and say, there are some things that I can change. There are some things that Stacey can change. Tessie, Natalie, Val, Amber, Christy, we can change things too. And we all talked about those things that we're going to be changing to go from being a camper to a climber in every area of our life, because we know that our team's going to follow what we do and not what we say to do, but they're going to follow what we do and what we model. And so if you feel like your whole team is full of campers, maybe it's you, or maybe like somebody said, I think it was Natalie, maybe you haven't been turning around to help them. Maybe you've been climbing without them. And there's a book by John Maxwell called Leader Shift. And if you don't have it or haven't read it, you need to. It's so good. I'll show you in a second if I can get it. But it's amazing. And one thing that he says in there that stuck out to me, he said, if you get to the top of the mountain and you reach the peak and you look around and nobody's behind you, you're not a leader, you're a hiker. So some of you might be climbing, but you're doing it alone and you're just hoping that they follow you, but you got to turn around and you got to help them. You have to show them what to do, not just tell them, oh, go put this post up, go do this, go send out messages. You got to show them what to do. Take time with them, build that relationship, be personal with them, have fun, like Val said, be all the things. The other thing that you need to start doing, enroll new people. When's the last time you completed your steps to success and got those 3 new people in every single month? Because if you're working with the same stinking people every single month and they're not climbing with you, you just need new people. Because guess what? Not everybody that comes in is going to catch the vision, and that's okay. That's okay. But you also have to continue to look for those people who do want it, because those people are out there watching you for 9 months, 4 years, 15 months, however long these people are talking about watching these people. They're out there watching you, and you have the ability to change their life, but you have to go find them and you have to reach out to them. You have to be consistent. You have to share the opportunity, because if you're not, you're going to be working with the same stinking people. And how frustrating to be working with a bunch of campers that you've been working with for the last 2 years. If your chart looks the exact same as it did 2 years ago, I would strongly encourage you to start enrolling new people, because you've got to get new blood. New blood solves old problems. And by new blood, I mean new distributors, new people in the system. Because there are people that are running right now on my team who weren't even here 3 months ago, who are going Ruby this month. And they're so excited. But if I had still been working with the same 3 people, or the same people I enrolled 3 months ago, my team and my excitement wouldn't be the same, because I need to be working with people who are excited. I need to get that new stuff in there. Fire burns from the bottom. So if you're waiting on all of your leaders to catch on, why don't you show your leaders some FOMO by being like, oh, shout out to this person, they're killing it. Shout out to this person, they just got their shopping spree. This person just went Ruby. Oh my gosh, this person's killing it. They're getting added to the leader chat. All these different things are happening. And they're like, I'm about to get passed up. I gotta go. I better run. Let's go. And like that creates that momentum, but it starts with you enrolling new people. Okay. So if you look at your team and there are a bunch of campers, ask yourself, is it you? Did you create it or did you allow it? And then ask yourself, how many people have you been enrolling? And then ask yourself, are you turning around and helping those people, or are you just hiking and hoping that they figure it out and follow you? Okay. All right, so I don't have anything else. I know we went a little bit over, but hopefully that's okay. I know I was just like loving all the tips and stuff, so I don't mind at all that we went over, but